Hi there. I hope your weekend's going great so far. And thanks in advance for taking time to hear me out on this. Before I get to what I really want to talk to you about, I want to take a moment to thank you all for your amazing support this year. 2025 has easily been the biggest year for Toastamac. And I'm not talking about the same growth as last year, where we had that Sonic video that was over 40K views, or like the 500 plus subscribers that we got. I'm talking about growing in different ways, in more ways that Toastamac has ever grown before. Like, we got into the YouTube Partner Program for the super chats, the memberships, and the ad revenue. That alone is a huge accomplishment, not to be taken lightly. We also broke a new personal record for fundraising with the Best Buddies Friendship Walk, and before that, I got to be a guest speaker at a high school to talk about my YouTube stuff. That was pretty awesome. I managed to work on a promo video for the Cognity for the very first time. That was pretty exciting. And um, I also got an email confirmation earlier today from Best Buddies in Colorado that I have been nominated to be a potential speaker for them for next year. That's awesome. And mind you, this isn't even half of all of the amazing things that have happened. But of course, none of this would have happened without supporters like you. So, thank you all so much. Now, with that said, there's something else I need to tell you. And that is, I feel like I've done a little too much this year. And if I'm being honest, I don't really feel too good about how I'm feeling right now. And I'm not saying, oh, I'm coming down with a serious sickness or something. It's just mentally, I'm not feeling good. And there's a couple big things that contributed to that. One was that I was kind of trying to do too much at one time or one year, if that makes sense. Like in one of my previous posts, Nakihashi had talked to me about or commented about don't stretch yourself too thin. And honestly, that comment that hit the nail on the head because that's exactly what happened. Like I was trying so hard to make this year bigger than last year, trying to do all of these things. Like it's kind of like when you try to grab a fistful of sand, but no matter how tight you grasp it, there are just some bits here and there that just, slip through your fingers. And while I was focusing so much on all of the things that I thought I needed to do, there wasn't really enough time that I made, mind you, for the things I wanted to do. Like, I barely got any voice acting submissions done, like maybe 5 or 6, and I took VA 201 for crying out loud. Like, having that few submissions in a year, that's kind of bad, if I'm being honest. And in after the Texas trip in I think it was like June or July, I told myself that I wanted to make more time to hang out with friends and try to balance that out with my work and my YouTube stuff. And while I made some minor improvement, I just feel like I'm not really there yet. And part of it feels like, with the schedule I set up for the autism videos, like, 2 Saturdays a month you get an autism video. At first, it was like this structure or routine I needed to keep everything organized. But it wasn't until, like, later on this year that it felt like less of a routine and more of a cage that I built around me without making the damn key. At least that's how it felt for me. That's one thing. And then the other part of it was late September I had to go to a funeral for someone who unfortunately passed away way too soon. I'm not going to go into details about that because honestly, that has to stay within the family. But I can say that, while I was there for the duration of the trip, for like the duration of the funeral, I was trying so hard to like tough it out, to be strong for mom, be strong for grandma. But like near the end of the funeral, that's when it hit me that, this person's gone and they're never coming back. And at that point, I lost it. I cried, I grieved, I felt really upset. And I remember, like, when I got back from that trip to California for the funeral, like, I didn't want to do anything for, like, the month of October. And, like, with the exception of the live streams, because, that's my chance to talk with all of you live, hang out with you live. But it's like, I didn't even want to, like, type a script, let alone even touch my camera. Like, during that promo video I made for the Cognity, during the demonstration segment, there was a part when, my camera had actually, stopped recording automatically for some reason. And, I was like freaking out. Like, it was like close to a panic attack, if not, like it wasn't a severe panic attack, but it did raise my anxiety quite high. um, it was like after that, I was kind of scared to like, try recording again because like, oh, what if this happened again? So in November, when I was working on the autism and AI video, I was trying out different solutions, like trying a new memory card. And let me tell you, when I recorded over an hour's worth of footage for that video, and then for that file to be corrupted in that new memory card, that was gut wrenching. Let me tell you, that was absolutely gut wrenching. That I had to throw that memory card out, and thankfully I kept the old one, and thankfully it all worked. And turns out it was just overheating, back in September because I was trying to do too much. Um, and then, but then a similar thing happened this month with the video I want to do about helping autistic people in 2026. Like, I felt like there was this need to give myself this extra push because I wasn't getting anything done. And it was really at that point that I started to realize that I that I sorry, I'm just trying to get the right words. That maybe I have a problem. This emotional or psychological or mental problem, whatever it is, it's a problem. And like, it's been getting in the way of like making the autism content. And I really don't want it to get to a point where it's like, oh, I just hate making these videos, but I absolutely have to. No, I don't want it to be like that. All of this YouTube stuff is my hobby. I do this because I enjoy it, and I don't want it to like get to the point where it's like I don't enjoy doing it anymore. Because like if you're not having fun, what's the point? So it was at that point, I had to like give myself some serious thought. Like, if I don't want it to get to that point, what am I going to do about it? What do I need to change to, to not get to this point where I essentially hit burnout and get to a point where I don't want to, like, make this kind of content. So like as I was making the script for, helping autistic people next year, which the script is done, I just need to record it. As I was writing the script, it's just these thoughts came into my mind like, okay, something needs to change, but what? What do I need to do? And I had to think really hard about it because, with the past couple of years, including this one, the question was like, okay, how do I make next year bigger than this one? How do I make this coming year even bigger than what I accomplished this year? After giving this a lot of thought, with both the YouTube channel and my mental health, because in all honesty, I really need to take better care of myself, with time management, with my emotions. Like there's some stuff, that I deal with, that's not shown in the videos or live streams and stuff. But the big goal for next year is I want to feel better about myself, you know? I don't want to be feeling like, with these issues that I've been having throughout this past year outside of the YouTube stuff and, having this feeling or need to like push myself to absolutely, meet a video deadline of my own creation, admittedly. And then a different way of thinking occurred to me. What if instead of trying to grow bigger, just try to grow better? You know? Like instead of like having these tight deadlines and like trying to get into this mindset like you absolutely must do this, try to instead that I want to try to make the content here and the channel for that matter more fun. Cause like I feel like with just the autism videos and the weekend live streams, I felt like Toastamac was slowly but surely becoming this one-trick pony. And Toastamac was never meant to be that. It's not just about informing people about autism, it's about bringing people together and having fun. Like that was like the main point of Toastamac being created in the first place. So it's like instead of trying to grow the channel bigger, why not try to make the channel better and more fun for you guys to enjoy and more fun for me to create for that matter? And that maybe instead of trying to focus so much on all the things I need to do, that maybe I should put a little more focus towards what I want to do. So that way, by the end of the year, I don't feel like this. I feel a lot better and happy. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm proud of everything that you and I have accomplished this past year. Like, a lot of the stuff is no small feat. I'm proud of it. But I just don't like the feeling that instead of like sprinting to the finish, that I'm just kind of more like limping to the finish, just like dragging my feet over the finish line. So I feel like if I focus or try to put a little bit more focus on what I want to do instead of just what I need to do, maybe that'll be better. And you know what I want to do? I want to do different kinds of content next year. I want to bring back an old series where I covered news articles that were like positive about the autistic community to bring more positivity in social media, because we've been hearing so much negative news within the past couple of years alone, and I'm like, do we really need so much negativity in the news? Like, there's some good things happening out there too. Why not that? Like, that's one of the things I want to do. I also want to, I don't know, go to like different places or events in Colorado and do some like short reels or short videos for like YouTube Shorts, Instagram, and TikTok to see things you probably haven't seen before. I want to do more voice acting submissions. Like, I got the equipment, and voice acting is what I really want to get into. I need to put more, I want to put more time into it because I really love voice acting and the voiceover I do in the autism videos, and I want to keep doing that. And what else do I want to do? Oh, I want to go to a convention again. I haven't gone to a convention in years. And I miss going to conventions, Like back in college and even a little after college, I went to conventions on the regular, and I've always had a blast. And the last thing is, of course, I want to make more time for me and my friends. That's really important to me too, because no matter how big a project of yours grows, like even if you get to a point of fame and fortune, it doesn't really mean anything if you don't have other people to celebrate it with? So, with that said, here's the plan going forward, or at least right now. Next Saturday, which is after Christmas, you will get that autism video about how to help autistic people in 2026. Like, you will get that because I already written out the script. I've gotten over, like, the anxiety of the camera, randomly stopping recording in the middle of it, which, okay, good, it hasn't stopped. That's a relief. So you will get that autism video next Saturday. And then right before the year ends, we'll probably do one more live stream. Sorry, let me get my words right. I don't really mess up this bad in like the autism videos you see. I do want to do one more live stream right before the end of the year, at least, as we go over all of the accomplishments that I made and all of us made with Toastamac in 2025, just to get a good idea of like how much we did and how much we should be proud of ourselves, you know? But after that, for the month of January, I'm just gonna take a step back, take an actual break. A break from making autism videos, a break from live streams, unless, of course, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds has one of those event banners they do over the weekends. That'll be the only exception. But aside from that, I just need to give myself time and space. Not for anyone else, but for myself and, a few of my friends. And I feel like once I actually take that break and, try to fix up my schedule, like, one of the other things I want to do is go to the gym because I need to get better in terms of like, not just the weight loss, but the muscle growth, to help my body feel better physically, not just mentally. And, maybe I'll throw in some therapy sessions too. Not really physical therapies, but like psychiatrist therapy. I've talked about it in a couple of my autism videos where it's like, if you're not feeling well, go talk to a therapist. I've talked the talk, and now it's time for me to walk the walk, to talk to a therapist and stop procrastinating on that, if I'm being honest. And that's really the main goal for next year. Not necessarily to grow bigger, but to make the channel better. To make the channel better and more fun for me and you. So, sorry, that winter time, that mucus, so that's basically what I wanted to say, and thank you for taking time to watch this, because I feel like I really needed to make this video first in order to get past this mental wall that I created that, prevented me from, making the autism videos in the first place. Like, instead of like just trying to climb over the wall, just break the damn thing, So, I'm glad I was able to make this video to get some things off my chest, and I'm thankful for all of you, as always, for your love and support. So, thank you so much. Hope you have a great weekend. And until the next video or live stream, see you later, and have a Merry Christmas.